So B'meila, the Rebbe continues, the Miyad Kishanei L'Adam, that as soon as the person is born, Maschil Kvad Etzli Inyan Aliyah, already starts the elevation, which means the process of elevating to a higher standard begins right when the child is born. The child is not able to help himself yet. So the Rebbe says, originally it comes through the help, assistance of someone else. Parents, the parents, the one that guides the person, a counselor, the ones that educate him, the ones that guide him. And then it comes to his Rebbe, who's teacher, that teaches him Torah. First there are the parents that brought him to Elam Hazeh, in the physical world, and then there's this that brought him to Elam Abod, the union of his Rebbe. Then he comes to a situation that he teaches and trains himself, educates himself. Goes from one strength to another. This is the reason for the great elevation that he eventually reaches. That what is the reason that of this elevation is because this Aveda comes through exertion. That this in itself, that he exerts himself, is already a cause and the concept of a descent that brings to an elevation. That b'shas a person does not take in consideration all the difficulties and all the obstacles and interferences, and he exerts himself and he exerts himself to fulfill his mission in the world, that he was created to serve his Creator, as our sages tell us. So then it comes even to a greater elevation, which is out of proportion in a sense. Like light like darkness that's converted into light, so that is even a greater light. That is a greater unique quality than light on its own, in its own right. As the Maimer Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, that according to the pain exertion, this is the reward. The Rebbe says it's not understood. Why does a person need so much exertion in his Aveda? That year was a big year in this theme of seeing eye, hearing ear. This is when the Rebbe was speaking about making the silent prayers in the public schools. So the Rebbe said that a child should know, begins the day a moment of silence, not a silent prayer, it was a moment of silence then, that a child should think about Hashem, should think about the Eibishter right in the beginning of the day. So the Rebbe says this is seeing, he should be aware of a seeing eye and a hearing ear. So B'meila, the Rebbe says there's a balabayis, there's an owner in this bira, in this domain. Since the Eibishter sees everything and hears everything, so as a person has to exert himself. Why did the Eibishter make it in a way that a person has to exert himself to get somewhere? And especially as the Baal Shem Tov revealed in his famous Torah, that the Eibishter creates the world in every second, as the Alter Rebbe mentions it in Tanya in the beginning of the second section, in every second, from something that's completely nothing, like it was in the first second of the creation, 5,768 years ago, so it constantly repeats itself. Why are there different elements that are obstacles that interfere and hinder the person, that he needs exertion and toiling himself to accomplish what he needs to accomplish. Elohim moving on now, it is understood. Since the elevation comes after through the descent, it says that the Shlomo Melech said, that I saw that there is an advantage in light, legabi darkness, and like wisdom in comparison to something that's foolish. So the Chassidus asked the question, do we need Shleima Melech, who was the wisest person, Chacham Ekol Adam, that discovered that light is more a greater advantage than darkness? So Chassidus explains it as a deeper meaning, that it means that the light that comes out Meteicha Cheshech, that's converted from darkness, is more yet than a light that there wasn't a light that is originally light and was not converted from darkness. Which means that there is a special quality in something that was converted from dark to light, from bitter to sweet, from inyanim of sichlus, inyanim that are foolish inyanim, and inyanim that were converted to inyanim of chachma, of wisdom, of knowledge. So b'meila, this is the inyan of Yeridat Seirach Aliyah, that b'shas darkness was converted to light. There's a greater ecstasy, there's a greater pleasure that the Eibishter has from the Reitainuk when yesh becomes ayin, when darkness becomes light, when bitterness becomes sweet. And b'meila v'yisen ano'er v'achachme bom et hechacheshef hasichlos dafka lefichach l'odam lamu yivov. And that's why a person was created for this inyan, because there is a certain pleasure derived from this, that Hashem derives from a person that actually converts something which is the opposite into something positive and light.